me to go through the process.
Right.
And that's where I'm at right now. I've got to get elected first.
Right.
Okay, so that's all I can concentrate on right now is how do I get elected?
So,
and how do I utilize the relationships that I have, the relationships that I've built up, the goodwill that we've built up as a federation over the last couple of years, what we've done on the women's front here in the United States and in NACAT. How do we begin to have conversations about building the relationships and maintaining? And we've had great leadership that's already built relationships. So how do I continue to...
Are you concerned at all about Bob's argument that a newcomer, regardless of gender or race, would not be elected to an executive committee position?
You know, I think my colleagues spoke to that, and I think you heard their comments about that, and I think, you know, I agree with those comments.
Well, they basically said the United States should stand squarely for diversity and advancing.
So here's what I'll say, and you have to know I'm a little bit of a history buff because I have been around for a while.
Yeah.
It's funny that that argument wasn't made how many years ago when Olin was slated to be the senior vice president, and he was taken off of. He was no longer the CEO. And did we go for a time without having somebody at the executive level? Yes. Is that not true? We did not have anybody at the when Olin was removed. The following year, did we have someone there?
Now there may be some effort to impeach you before the end of your term. How would you react to that, and how would you fight that?
Again, I think that Steve made very good comments about what our constituency base is responsible for.
Right.
So you know what? On the merit of, I will stand on the merits that for the last 6 years that I've sat in this seat, we have moved this organization from a $13 million organization to a $30 million. We're now paying officials, which is what we've never done before. We have increased our prize money for our athletes. We have been able to attract international competitions to this country for the first time in over how many years. So maybe this is maybe more about style than substance. And so if there are people who do not appreciate the fact that we're trying to run our business as opposed to the way we maybe have ran it in the past, and so if there's not a consensus amongst the body that to run our business as a business, and because I represent that, then there's not anything else I can do. But I believe that I keep first and foremost athletes centered in my decision making. Secondly, I keep this organization centered in my decision making. I've been a politician, so I don't take this stuff personally. This is about a differing of opinions about how we move our organization forward. And the only thing I ask is that we do it in a civil manner, in a respectful manner. And have I not been afforded that over the last couple of months? No, but I'm not whining about it because, again, I said I've been a politician before. But this for me is about how do we move our organization forward, and I don't think anyone can dispute the fact that since I've been sitting in the chair, we've moved this organization forward.
Have you moved forward, or have you become more dependent on Nike?
This isn't about, as I think Gio will say to you, you can look at 10 new sponsors in the last how many. So I don't understand why people keep negating when you look at it from the totality, not just one entity. There's a lot of different entities and sponsors, and then people forget the fact that we were stagnant for over 10 years. We had no new sponsors, so I'm not sure what should we be doing. Should we not have any new partners? It's interesting. Someone made this, and I'm going to keep them nameless. The other night we were having a conversation. Now that we have a carcass. We have a carcass now out there. Now everyone has an opinion. It's funny, for the last, how many years, no one's been complaining about what's been going on at the board table. We've been operating okay. Then we got a significant amount of new sponsors at the table. Now all of a sudden I'm doing such a bad job. So I don't understand. I thought we wanted new sponsors. I thought we wanted athletes to have more money. I thought we wanted to give officials money.
Yeah, Stephanie, that's not because of it. Nobody complained about you getting new sponsors. You had the Albuquerque situation, you have this situation.
You see the Albuquerque situation.
The mess with the Salazar, the whole mess about the distance rate.
Oh, the internationals.
You've had the situation in Eugene where you guys were absent during the trials with this whole, neither you or Max were around during the whole thing with the women's 100 mess. So I mean,
oh my gosh,
so you've had.
Okay, so he needs to be re-educated about that.
I'll speak to the Eugene issue, and then we'll just take one more.
But you're saying that everything's all fine. You're saying everything's fine.
See, here's what I think, as a journalist, either you haven't done your homework or you're misinformed. I was at every meeting as related to the 100 meeting. All right, I was there in the meetings. I was in the meetings. The people who should have been in the meetings, I'll keep them nameless, were not there. And those are people that are not being held accountable. But why do I have to be held accountable for it?
Nobody was public, and there was no sense of leadership during the whole week.
Getting back to
so my point is
today, I'll talk to you about that. Yeah. Getting back to today and just moving the organization forward, and then you can wrap it up.
Sure. So that's why I said I think there's either misinformation that you've gotten, and I hope that Jill can clear that out, but that's not true. In the Albuquerque situation, again, you know what, let's just say this goes and speaks to why we began the process of really beginning to look at our bylaws, and we had a little bit of that discussion here today. We still using bylaws that went to effect, 25 years ago. There's some things in there that aren't applicable anymore. And what we've got to do is we've got to get all of the minds together, because we have a lot of great minds. We have great subject matter experts in this organization. But what we can't keep doing is the same old stuff. And so we have folks that still want to keep the bylaws as they currently are. We can't do that, so that when we have situations like in Albuquerque, the rules committee that think about this, that situation at the trials, no one had gone through our rules and looked at that. When did it happen? With how long back before somebody where that had happened one time before?
Oh, the Olympic trials?
Yeah.
Oh, with the dead heat, it happened a couple decades.
Decades ago. With who? With me. Okay. That was almost 40 years ago. Why, within a 40-year period, no one had taken a look at that to get it ready for the 21st century now? So by the time we got in 2015, those are the kinds of things that we have to have, I believe, an independent body to help us come in and really dig through the bylaws in a way so that we can all make informed decisions. But some of the stuff we're doing now is antiquated. And I see you shaking your head saying it, and some of the stuff is antiquated.
We'll take one more leadership question.
The question I would have is, do you think this puts an end to the discussion for now? Or do you think this thing is going to, do you think we finally turned the page?
I don't know where we're going to go with this at this point. I can't say. For me, this is about how do we all collectively move our organization forward? How do we have constructive conversation about how we move our organization forward? That's really all I care about. We can differ. Again, I've said this. We can differ about the opinion, have differing opinions, but this is a business. This is a $30 million business, and we should run it like a business, and we should want to run it like a business, and we should want to be able to hold people accountable, and the board should be held accountable as having fiduciary responsibilities and doing what's right to move our organizations forward. And so I think we have a responsibility as a board to educate our constituency base about how we move that.
What is the fiduciary responsibility with respect to the IAAF nomination? What is the fiduciary responsibility?
Well, there are fiduciary reasons for how we select those individuals, because they make decisions at the IAAF level are made that can have financial impact on our organization.
And you're saying you could do a better job than Bob
I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I think, again, my colleagues sort of spoke to that, and I'm not getting into that conversation.
Okay.
Because I know you've got...
Kurt said that there's a disconnect with certain parts of the constituency. How do you repair that? And do you buy that?
Work real hard. If there is, just acknowledge it and work real hard to figure out how to reconnect.
If you were impeached and removed, would you be on the board, and would you be eligible for IAAF?
That's a bylaw question. Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay.
See y'all.